Today we're going to be interviewing Professor Quinton Walpole, an expert in volcanology, about the effects of the 79 AD eruption of Mount Vesuvius on Pompeii and other surrounding cities in that time period. So overall, how devastating was the eruption of Mount Vesuvius to its surrounding cities during the first eruption in the 1st century?
Well, technically, the AD 79 eruption wasn't necessarily its first eruption, just the first ever reported one. Actually, the initial eruption was so violent that it actually blew the top off the volcano. Dramatic. The landscape around Mount Vesuvius was also drastically altered by the outpour of volcanic material. The coastline along the nearby bay was even extended more than a kilometer of volcanic tuff. The landscape around Mount Vesuvius was also drastically altered by the outpour of volcanic tuff. The coastline was also extended by even more than a kilometer by the ash put out by the volcano.
So were there any precursors to the eruption?
Well, earthquakes, of course. There was one in 62 AD, which they disregarded because they were so used to getting the earthquakes. It hit Herculaneum and Pompeii hard, but not Naples and Nicaria so much. It wasn't as violent because the people were accustomed to it. There were animals sensing something weird because of their strange behavior, and the wells and springs dried up, seas became turbulent, and the earth started cracking.
So have there been any eruptions since the one in the 1st century?
Yes, after the one in AD 79, there was one every century until about 1037. Then there was another in 1631, which killed 4,000 people, and yet another in 1944. It's also predicted to erupt sometime in this century, which would be very catastrophic, considering there's now a population of 3 million living around Mount Vesuvius now.
Wow. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you.
Thank you.